So I had someone ask about macro photography. And macro photography can be one of the most fun and challenging type of photography you can do. This last year, I did a lot more macro than I ever have because it lets you go out and take pictures on certain days. It might not work for other things. If I'm going out and trying to take pictures of birds and there's not good light, the images are not going to be good, so I just don't want to take them. So macro lets you walk around the woods or the pond or whatever and find stuff, leaves, a piece of a log, moss on the trees, mushrooms, all kinds of stuff. And macro is just super up close. So the one thing, if you don't have a macro lens, okay, because I want to gear this towards people that are starting or trying to get better and can't just spend $10,000 on every lens that exists to do all these things. So I have a good macro lens. This is the Canon L series. That's a great macro lens. And so what you can do if you don't have a true macro lens is a couple things. So they sell what's called an extension tube, which is right here between the macro lens and the camera. If this was not a macro lens, this extension tube is going to allow the lens that you have, even if it's like your 75 to 300 kit lens that came with your camera or whatever you have. Usually you want more than 100 millimeters, but you can almost make anything work with a couple of these things on a budget. So the extension tube moves the lens away from the camera, and which allows for a closer focal distance. I'm sure you've tried with your camera to take a picture of something too close and it won't focus. That's because the lens has a minimal focus distance, which on big telephoto lenses can be 5 feet away. On a common lens is a couple feet. This doesn't quite let you get close enough to take a picture of a bee on a flower. So the extension tube that I showed there is one option of getting closer focal distance, and they're not expensive. That one's a Canon one. 40-50 bucks. I think there's aftermarket ones out there that are much cheaper, $20 or something. I wouldn't go super cheap, but Amazon, you can usually look at things and then good, bad reviews, stuff like that. Find something with 100 reviews or 50 reviews, and if most of them are good, it's probably good enough. So the other thing is something you can get, and this is a close-up filter. So it just magnifies things. Either, I think the set is 2x, 3x, and 4x, I think. So obviously 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And these are ProMaster, and that's a middle-of-the-road brand. They're pretty good. You can screw one of these on the end of your lens where the filter thread is, and this is going to let you get closer also. Now, whenever you're purchasing these, you do have to keep in mind, you need to figure out what millimeter your lens end is where the filter goes in, which you can find it online. Sometimes it's right on the end of the lens. It'll say 82 millimeter, 57 millimeter, whatever it is. So you got to make sure that matches up. I think this set came in a little box. I think I bought these used on eBay, 40, 50 bucks, something like that. And these work. I don't know that these are the greatest thing ever for macro. They work. The extension tube probably works a little better because it's just using the quality of your lens and just kind of moving it away. Whenever you're adding anything, like this, you have a certain level of optics in your lens, and that isn't that level of optics or glass. But it works if we're just trying to learn about macro photography and not, be professional. We just want to take some pictures of bees and bugs and whatever. So if you don't have a macro lens, the extension tubes would help you. The close-up filters would help you kind of get into it, and that would let you, find if it's something you enjoy. Like I said, I really did a lot more of it this year just because I challenged myself to put 1,000 images on the stock photography site to sell, and you can't always go out every day and take a perfect picture of a duck with a beautiful sun at your back. So macro helped me take a lot more images and get better. And they're neat images, flowers, bees, all that stuff. It gets you out in nature, gets you walking around. So that is what I have to say, the basics of macro. And I'll talk more about it Again, there's different things about the lenses that I need to tell you that kind of change things. But that would be the basics on maybe how you could add a little bit to your photography wheelhouse without a ton of money. You can message me too, if you have a certain lens and you can't figure out the millimeters or whatever, and I'll figure it out or give you a link or show you how to figure it out or something. I'm fine with all that. Just send me a message and, we'll work on that. Also, I started a group on the page and an album on the page. Either one, I kind of lean more towards the group maybe. It would be a great place for anybody who's watching these and has learned a little bit and wants to show off their photos, or even just put a picture on there that you're proud of or one that you think could be better. And we're going to make like a nice community. It's going to be positive. We could criticize somewhat. Hey, maybe you could have done this or that, but keep it respectful. And just a little community that everybody can kind of post their stuff in and what they've learned or what they need to learn. And we'll just have a neat little community. So that's it for today. I do have a couple more requests, and I'm going to try to get those done tonight, probably when I have more time. I'm going to do one on sunsets. Not sure which one was, but yeah. So tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll do one on that. Thanks for tuning in. I do need a lot more YouTube subscribers, so if you have a YouTube account, please just find me on there and subscribe, follow, and share the video if you learned something. Thanks a lot. Bye.